For Overwatch fans, Blizzard tends to feel like an absentee father. The last few years he spent with his other family that he likes more. He comes back now, says things are going to be different, but all of a sudden has to go get milk for a couple months. Today's video, we're going to discuss the management of Overwatch 2's beta so far. Is Blizzard doing the right thing? Why are they doing it this way? What the heck is going on? But with Father's Day coming up, June 19th, just a few days after the big announcement, you'll want to make sure to either celebrate or repair the relationship you have with your own real father, and I got just the Father's Day gift for you. Today's video is sponsored by Manscaped. Do Dad a solid this year. For Father's Day, get him a gift that he won't just use, but also love. As many of you know, Manscaped is known for having the greatest body shaver in the history of male grooming. The Lawnmower 4.0 is cordless, waterproof, safe to use on your whole body thanks to the skin-safe technology. Dad will love all of that, but also, let's face it, he needs the lawnmower's built-in light because, his eyes ain't getting any better. And this time, it gets even better. Manscaped just launched their Boxers 2.0. Whether your dad's got a bit more of a sense of humor like mine or wants to keep it classy, these moisture-wicking, cooling, comfortable boxers are the best thing you can get him this Father's Day. Manscaped makes for the perfect Father's Day gift. Hook up your buddy, your brother, or your real dad. I'm gonna be sending one to my Overwatch dad, and hopefully they come back. You let me know how it works out on your end, okay? Take our link in the description to manscaped.com and be sure to use our promo code OVERWATCH to get 20% off and free shipping. Give Dad a gift he'll love. Don't forget this year, be a cool son. It took me a bit for the reality of Blizzard's decisions with how they're handling Overwatch 2's transition to sink in fully. Many of you, myself included, were a bit blindsided by the announcement that we not only would lose access to Overwatch 2, but won't even get information until next month, June 16th. This leaves many of us scratching our heads saying, is this a live service game yet or what? What's the business model? What are we even doing here? I want to try to see things from Blizzard's point of view to make sense of why they had to make this decision. The reality is they're working on a rush timeline due to many factors, many of which were out of their control long ago. Truth is though, long ago Blizzard made their own bed, and now it's time for them to lie in it. Let's look through the timeline of this. August of last year, journalist Richard Lewis wrote an article exposing that the Overwatch League team owners, who of course paid multi-million-dollar buy-ins to get into the league, were very dissatisfied with Blizzard's management of the Overwatch IP. There was to be no new content for Overwatch 1, and no sequel to be finished anytime soon. They demanded answers, like everyone did, to be honest, and once the California lawsuit cropped up, the team owners finally had leverage. The result was the team owners of the Overwatch League pressured Blizzard to stop mucking about with endless delays and rush towards an early version of Overwatch 2's competitive multiplayer to be playable for the Overwatch League at the start of the year. We made a lot of videos back then, some of which my takes got laughed at the time. One, I thought the only logical thing they could do in that position was to split PvE and PvP. Many intelligent friends I have that I respect thought I was on the copium, on the sauce. No way could they do that. But that one turned out precisely right. Reason being, PvP development is actually easier, believe it or not, than the scope and scale of the PvE cooperative campaign they've been working towards. Remember how I was theorizing that there might have been a reset in philosophy and direction of the Overwatch 2.0 PvP? With the leaks coming out about Jeff Kaplan and Aaron Keller having different philosophies, I'm starting to think my assumptions were right on that too. I mean, it seemed obvious based on the results we were getting, right? I didn't even need a leak. The proof is in the pudding. A massive change in direction on multiple fronts was palpable after the transition of Jeff Kaplan. And the result we get is the Overwatch 2 Beta 1 being rushed for the Overwatch League, but despite the general gaming public knowing about Overwatch 2 for years, realistically, I think the work they had to put into it was whatever they had from years ago, but a lot of the new stuff, including 5v5, reworking the whole game in that, probably only came in like that last year, stemming around the transition of the balance philosophy and the direction of the entire game. It's a little weird because Jeff would go on record saying things like he prefers Overwatch to be more like a shooter. Well, that sounds like he likes the Overwatch 2 direction, right? But if that's the case, why did we get things like Valk 1.0 and Brig 1.0? These ideas seem to be kind of in conflict, don't you think? So in light of me assuming these things, I think what they accomplished so far in like a year-ish is pretty crazy. But for the average gamer who isn't a diehard Overwatch fan, they're gonna look at it and say, is that all you got? Well, hopefully, they're holding back more and much more for the upcoming betas, but due to how much of a delay and downtime, I think there might be more to that story. More on that later. I want to mention that there was a point in predicting these things that I got really wrong. An assumption that I, and I think many people made, was that surely Blizzard couldn't deny access to the public of a new game if they were expected to watch an esport about it, right? Well, sorta. They gave beta drops and a few weeks to try it, but it was closed. Limited. So some got their hands on it. It's out in the wild. You get to see it. And if you dedicated, you could get in to play it. But to me, this doesn't read like the devs are saying, hey, everyone, come try our new stuff. We're really proud of it. It reads more like, well, guys, the Overwatch League is forcing us to have something new in time, and this is what it is. Please give us more time to finish it. You gotta remember, inside these big companies, it's sort of a power struggle where demands are made on one side, let's say the publishing side, to put pressure on the creative side. And the ugly reality of developing anything creative is that timelines are very difficult. Some of your best ideas might come easily, and some of your worst ideas you might work through for months, years, and they never become good. That's just sort of the creative process in a nutshell. I really feel for the devs, and I wish their creativity wasn't at the beck and call of the investors of the company who demand constant growth, or the pro league that has to operate on a given schedule. Don't get me wrong, as a hardcore player, I love the Overwatch League. I've got content planned featuring some of the cool strategies in Overwatch 2 so far, but I can't help but think, trying to give the Blizzard devs the benefit of the doubt, if they felt they could make a bigger splash on the first impression, they would have. These are not dumb adults. I assume they were trying to limit expectations to show less than they have. I want to try to play the Blizzard Whisperer here yet again and try to make sense of this management nightmare. I think the truth is, the results we're getting are a surprise to even Blizzard themselves. I don't think they're sure yet on how much they can actually commit to and deliver on. Let's try to look at it from a more charitable light. Why did it have to be this way? They obviously have limited resources, so the PvP beta we got was very limited in both content, time frame, accessibility, all of it on purpose so the devs could collect data, make a plan. Let's try to imagine what they could reasonably need to do in that month before they announce anything publicly. Based on the wording of the tweet itself, which says June 16th is to share their plan for the months ahead, including the next PvP beta, which sounds like a bit of a short-term roadmap, right? I think they needed that time to properly plan the schedule at all. Remember, Blizzard hates setting expectations. They never give us timelines for upcoming content, bar the sort of loose calendar they had for Overwatch 1 originally. Overwatch 1 had a release cadence, sort of, but it was always subject to change, and they never told us what was coming in advance. We just sort of knew the vague time windows. The problem is, their competitor developers exist, which both set expectations for how games should be developed in theory, and pull players away. They often have very direct communication and planning. But that does have downsides as well, and this is why Blizzard wouldn't normally like that strategy. The reason is, just like I said before about the creative process, you never really know if, say, designing or balancing or bug testing or a million other things for a new hero or piece of content will be easy or hard. Imagine it like this. Some heroes are maybe obvious fits for Overwatch, like Reinhardt, reminds of a World of Warcraft tank, plays great, interacts great, all of that is wonderful, but compare that to the dev time that has been sunk into the numerous reworks for a hero like Symmetra, who might be in line for a 4th overhaul, or is it 5th? I don't know, I lost track. The problem is, if you set expectations on a calendar schedule, just like Valorant, it's possible that things come out literally broken, game-breaking, or horribly imbalanced. And that all is a new experience and methodology for Blizzard, so they're going to have growing pains with it. Their old mantra was, when it's done. Well, now it's gotta be, do it now, which is very different. So far, at least, for the balance of the game in the beta. In my opinion, so far, the rate of their reactions and their decision-making in the beta looks good. The changes to the support in order to make the role feel fun for players, Zen Sparta kick, forget balance. It's a fun idea. That's what I want to see in Overwatch because, well, in the all-pick format, forget the idea that we're going to have great balancing. You can just forget that. You can at least try to make the game fun. So I think they can do it. But I think they want to take this month to seriously consider their production pipeline so they can be confident they can give promises that they can deliver on. I certainly hope that's the reason, because that's probably the worst part about Overwatch, is that you never know when things are going to happen. Other games don't have outrageous content plans, I don't think. They just are kind of more reliable and easier to set expectations with. So you don't wonder if you're wasting your time investing in learning a skill set for a game because you know when it's going to be relevant again. Oh, the new content comes out every X number of months. Well, maybe I'll plan on warming up my aim for that time or whatever. Right? You can fit it into your lifestyle. But the random schedule of Overwatch makes you feel abused as a gamer. Is all my investment going to be tossed away? Who knows? So my expectations for the June 16th announcement is that we will get a proper pipeline of expectations, because that was so clearly the thing they botched with Beta 1. The general gaming public still doesn't understand what the heck's going on, and hardcore players barely understand what's going on. Something that hasn't been mentioned enough, and not because I forgot about you guys, but I just knew that this wasn't in the short-term plan, but at some point, one of these betas will be on console. It would be awesome if the second beta was. Xbox retweeted the tweet about the June 16th announcement, indicating that maybe this one will have a console release. That would help things out a lot, because a massive percentage of Overwatch players are on console. What Blizzard must do is explain to us how we're going to transition into Overwatch 2, and are they going to act like a live service game? Because if so, the community wants them to rip the Band-Aid off and just transition us into the new version of the game as soon as possible. But judging by the number of betas I think they're saying they need, probably 3, to complete the whole crawl, walk, run arc, it sounds like that won't be as soon as we'd like it. But they also didn't promise more than that, so I can't really say I deserve more. I just want it. It's like this. Oh, Owl demands an early version playable for Overwatch 2? Okay, here's an early version. Now let's actually try to finish it, okay? I feel like that's their attitude. So they're scurrying to try to make the best first impression on the release of the game. And this beta stuff, it's just what they're forced to do in the meantime, and I don't think they wish they had to do it at all, and I feel for them on that regard. But at the same time, the decision to give up Overwatch 1 PvP content was never communicated clearly ahead of time either. It's just one day, our Overwatch dad said he's not coming back home. It just happened. Blizzard doesn't get to imply that their game is a live service, wish that it was, and not support it like it is. I'm really confused at taking the beta down. Is it a money issue? Is it just budget that we can't keep on the pipeline with the devs? Or maybe they just want to make a bigger splash from beta to beta and need some time to build up momentum to do so. That seems to make more sense to me. If we expect the crawl, walk, run approach, then each beta should feel like an order of magnitude in better, bigger, more content. Beta 1 might feel like a sliver, but each subsequent one, I certainly hope, will feel like a cascade towards release. Okay, enough complaining for one video. I sure hope they figure it out. We're all in this boat together as fans with the developers. On the whole, I'm happy with what they've been able to do given the restraints, but unfortunately, because of the circumstances, they need to do a Herculean task to overcome the setbacks from previous years, at least to impress the general populace. I think they can get there because they finally are on the right track, but this engine needs to hit the nitrous oxide and get going. 0 to 100 real quick. Guys, that's everything for today's video. Even though your relationship with your Overwatch dad is traumatic, you can still repair the one with your real dad. Take the link in the description to head on over to manscaped.com and use our code OVERWATCH at checkout to get 20% off your entire order and free shipping. Manscaped is great. The boxers are the most comfortable boxers in the world. You'll love them, and dad will too. Click the bell icon on your way out so you don't miss out on the other cool Overwatch videos we have in store. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. We'll see you guys next time.